Think back over the past few weeks. Have you felt unusually exhausted, the kind of tired that does not go away? No matter how much you sleep. Have you had what felt like indigestion? Or a vague, heavy pressure in your upper abdomen, even when you had not eaten? Has your left shoulder, arm, or jaw felt strangely heavy or achy for no clear reason? If any of these sound familiar, please do not look away from this video, because what I am about to share may be the most important health information you encounter this year. These seemingly ordinary symptoms are among the leading warning signs that a heart attack may be approaching, and most people never recognize them in time. Here is the devastating reality. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death globally, and yet a large proportion of those who die from heart attacks had warning signals in the days and weeks beforehand that were either ignored or mistaken for something else. They attributed their symptoms to stress, a bad meal, aging, or simple fatigue. By the time the classic crushing chest pain arrived, the damage was already severe, and the window for effective treatment had narrowed dangerously. A landmark study tracking hundreds of women who had suffered heart attacks found that 70% reported unusual fatigue. In the weeks leading up to the event, 48% experienced sleep disturbances. 39% had indigestion-like symptoms. These were not random complaints. These were the heart sending increasingly urgent messages through the only language the body knows how to use. Let us go through the 3 surprising warning signals one by one. The first unexpected warning is upper abdominal discomfort. That feels exactly like indigestion. Many people know that a heart attack can cause chest pressure or tightness, but survivors frequently describe something far less dramatic. A sensation of fullness or heaviness in the upper stomach area, a feeling of being bloated without having eaten, a vague sense of something pressing on the area just below the breastbone. People take antacids. They lie down expecting it to pass. They wait, and in waiting, they lose the time that would have saved the most heart muscle. Why does cardiac pain feel like indigestion? The mechanism is called referred pain. When the heart muscle is deprived of oxygen and sends distress signals to the brain, those signals travel through spinal cord segments that overlap with the nerve pathways from the stomach and esophagus. The brain, unable to distinguish between overlapping signals, sometimes interprets cardiac pain as coming from the digestive tract. The vagus nerve, which connects the heart to the gut, also plays a role when it is irritated by cardiac ischemia. It can trigger genuine nausea, stomach cramping, and vomiting, making the gastrointestinal interpretation feel even more convincing. 4 distinguishing features separate cardiac discomfort from true indigestion. First, antacids and digestive medications provide no relief. Second, the discomfort appears even when the stomach is completely empty, with no connection to meals. Third, it is accompanied by cold sweats or unexpected shortness of breath, which should trigger an immediate emergency call. Fourth, it persists and intensifies over 30 minutes, rather than easing with rest or position changes. The second unexpected warning is unexplained. Extreme fatigue and disrupted sleep. This is probably the most commonly overlooked signal, because in modern life everyone is tired. But the fatigue that precedes a heart attack has a specific and recognizable quality. It is not tiredness from activity or a demanding week. It is a relentless exhaustion that does not respond to sleep or rest, a sensation of being completely drained without obvious cause. Ordinary tasks that were previously effortless, climbing a single flight of stairs, walking quickly to the car, carrying groceries, begin to produce a disproportionate and alarming sense of depletion. The physiological explanation is straightforward. When the coronary arteries supplying the heart begin to narrow, due to advancing atherosclerosis, the heart receives progressively less blood and oxygen. To compensate, it must work harder and faster, just to maintain baseline function. This chronic overwork gradually reduces the heart's pumping efficiency. As a result, less oxygenated blood reaches the muscles and organs throughout the body, and the entire system begins to run on reduced capacity. The body expresses this as a pervasive and persistent fatigue that cannot be explained by activity levels. Disturbed sleep is equally significant. When cardiac function declines, lying flat can cause mild fluid accumulation in the lungs, disrupting breathing quality during sleep. Simultaneously, the overstimulated sympathetic nervous system creates an autonomic imbalance that fragments sleep architecture. Waking frequently, sleeping lightly, waking without feeling rested. These experiences over multiple consecutive nights may not be insomnia. They may be the heart's overnight distress signal. The distinction to watch for is this: fatigue that does not respond to adequate rest, that has arrived without a clear lifestyle cause, that has persisted for several days to several weeks, and that is accompanied by unusual breathlessness during light activity, represents a pattern that deserves medical evaluation without delay. The third unexpected warning is pain, pressure, or discomfort radiating to the left arm, shoulder, jaw, neck, or upper back. People know that left arm pain can signal a heart attack, but they often do not recognize the less dramatic presentations. A dull heaviness in the left shoulder with no injury to explain it. An aching in the inner left arm that comes and goes, a strange pressure in the lower jaw or teeth, a deep aching beneath the left shoulder blade. The referred pain mechanism explains all of these. Cardiac pain signals are transmitted through spinal nerve segments that also serve the left arm, shoulder, neck, jaw, and upper back. The brain receives overlapping signals from these areas and cannot always identify the correct source. The result is pain that appears to originate in the arm or jaw rather than the heart. A critical clinical study involving thousands of patients found that women were 14 percentage points more likely than men to experience cardiac pain radiating to the jaw or back rather than classic central chest pressure. Women were also substantially more likely to present with nausea, vomiting, and profound fatigue as their dominant symptoms, rather than the well-known squeezing chest sensation. This means women are far more likely to interpret their symptoms as gastrointestinal or musculoskeletal problems and delay seeking care. Understanding this difference can be life-saving. The distinguishing feature of cardiac-referred pain versus muscular pain is that cardiac pain does not change with body position or specific movements. Muscle pain worsens when you use the muscle and improves with rest. Cardiac-referred pain is unrelated to movement. More importantly, if this shoulder, arm, or jaw discomfort consistently worsens during physical exertion and eases with rest, this is the classic pattern of angina, the warning stage just before heart attack, and requires urgent cardiology evaluation. Now, what do you do if these warning signals appear? The most important rule is this: do not drive yourself to the hospital. Do not wait to see if it gets better. Call emergency services immediately. Paramedics can begin treatment in transit, and their communication with the hospital ensures that assessment and intervention begin the moment you arrive. Every 30-minute delay in treatment increases heart muscle damage by approximately 7.5%. The difference between calling immediately and waiting an hour can be the difference between full recovery and permanent cardiac damage, or between life and death. While waiting for emergency services, sit or recline in a comfortable position. If you have aspirin available and are not allergic to it, and do not have a bleeding ulcer history, chewing a standard 325 mg aspirin can help limit clot formation. If you have been prescribed nitroglycerin for prior cardiac symptoms, use it as directed by your physician. Loosen any tight clothing and remain still until help arrives. One more critical point: if symptoms appear and then disappear, do not treat the disappearance as reassurance. A brief episode of cardiac symptoms, followed by resolution, may represent a transient ischemic event in the heart. What is sometimes called an unstable angina episode. This is not recovery. It is a warning that a complete blockage may follow very soon. Seek emergency evaluation the same day, even if you feel completely fine when you arrive. For prevention, the most important steps center on managing the three major drivers of atherosclerosis: high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and high cholesterol. If you have been diagnosed with any of these conditions, consistent management through medication, diet, and lifestyle is your most direct tool for preventing heart attack. Regular aerobic exercise, 30 minutes at moderate intensity, 5 days per week, measurably improves coronary artery health. A diet low in saturated fat, trans fat, and sodium, and rich in omega-3 fatty acids, vegetables, and fiber, reduces plaque formation. and supports vascular elasticity. Stopping smoking is the single most impactful individual action for cardiovascular risk reduction. If this video helped you, please subscribe, like, and share it with the people you love. It may be the most important share you make this year. Leave your questions in the comments. See you in the next video.